The American League champion Toronto Blue Jays are reportedly signing 41-year-old right-hander Max Scherzer to a 1-year, $3 million contract with up to an additional $10 million in incentives. Now, I love incentive living contracts, especially with pitchers who'll be 42 in July, but not necessarily this one. It makes very little sense for the player, the team, and it will definitely make at least one other player very unhappy north of the border. So is this contract even worth doing? We're going to talk about it right now. All right, everybody, you are listening to the newest short-form podcast from All Gloves Off Sports Media, and it's called Seeing the Whole Field. We thank you guys for joining us. Of course, as we're always saying, we appreciate you, so welcome in. We thank you for coming in. And of course, you guys all know, go to our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss one of our videos that we're doing right now. As again, we talk about Max Scherzer, the Toronto Blue Jays, and is this even really worth it for them? I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to take a look. We're going to see here. You got to forgive me here for just a second. I'm trying to get the feed to go up on our Twitter account. For some reason, it is not doing what it is supposed to do here. So I'm looking at it here, and I'll get it over on our YouTube account here in just a second. Or excuse me, not our YouTube account. I'll get it over on our X account here in just a second. Of course, that X account address is at All Gloves Off SM, and you are listening to Seeing the Whole Field. First, now the 40-man roster in Toronto is full, and in order for Max to sign, they're going to have to make a move. But looking at the roster, they can simply put Anthony Santander on the 60-day disabled list, and that'll be fine. Santander, if you don't know, recently had shoulder surgery, and he's going to be out of action for 5 to 6 months. So there's their move. They don't have to drop anybody. They're going to put Santander on the disabled list, and then they'll add Max Scherzer, if that's what they decide to do, especially after hearing this episode of Seeing the Whole Field. Obviously, we don't know what incentives make up the additional $10 million, and if they're easily obtainable or not. Now, I'm sure some of the money is pretty easy and some of it's probably pretty difficult. So let's just, for argument's sake, say that all that Max Scherzer is going to make is the $3 million guaranteed. We'll just use that for a moment. But in doing so, I'm confused. An 18-year career where you have earned, you ready? $366 million. Yes, $366 million. 550,658 is not enough to live on, and you suddenly need $3 million more? But for the Toronto Blue Jays, it'll cost them much more. With only the $3 million that's guaranteed to Scherzer, it will push Toronto's total payroll for the season to $319 million, according to Roster Resource. And then anything over $304 million, the Jays are taxed at that maximum of 90%. So the $3 million will have another $2.7 million in taxes attached to it. And if by chance that Scherzer can make the additional $10 million, it will have another $9 million tax on top of that. So just by chance, if Scherzer gets the entire $13 million, it'll actually cost the Blue Jays $24.7 million. Well, shoot, if they're willing to pay that, Max Scherzer must be great. Hold your horses. In 2023, when he was still with the Rangers, Max had back surgery. He made 8 starts. He pitched 45 innings for them. The following year, still with the Rangers, he made 9 starts, and he pitched 43rd and 1/3 innings. And in those 2 seasons combined, he gave the Rangers 6 wins. Last year, he signed a $15.5 million one-year contract with the Jays, but because of the back surgery that he had previously, his pitching arm still remained problematic. If you'll remember, he only pitched 3 innings in his debut and then didn't pitch again until late June. He gave the Jays 85 innings last year, but at a 5.19 ERA, allowing more than 5 runs per 9 innings for the first time in his career. Now, those 85 innings that he gave the Jays last year were divided into 17 starts. He went beyond 5 innings on 7 occasions and only gave them 6 quality starts. He allowed more than 2 home runs per 9 innings for the first time in his career as well. And it was the 4th highest home run rate in all, yes, all of Major League Baseball for anyone who threw 70+ innings. The Blue Jays even went as far as to leave him off the roster when they went against the Yankees in the playoff division series. So guys, this is not him falling off from his peak. This is him falling off. But what might be the most detrimental is what having him on the team will actually do to the team. Let me explain. Toronto, according to an article by Anthony Franco of MLBTradeRumors.com, will have a starting 5 of Dylan Cease, Kevin Gausman, Trey Savage, Jose Barrios, and Cody Ponce. So where does Scherzer fit in? Now, making a 6-man rotation for a team that's coming off extra innings of a playoff run does have some merit to it, I will admit. Especially with Savage entering his first full Major League season, and Ponce coming off a return from Korea where you're not really sure what you're going to get from him. But MLB now has a 13-pitcher limit, if you remember, and if they go with a 6-man rotation, that only leaves them, let's see, my Hillsboro math, shout out to Hillsboro, Ohio, leaves them with a 7-man bullpen. Then there is Eric Lauer. Lauer expressed that he wants the opportunity to start. And with Max in Toronto, he's certainly not going to get that opportunity. So he then becomes the designated long man in the bullpen, and that's going to become important because of the 6-man rotation, which is not at all what he wants. Plus, there is the fact that because he is now regulated to the bullpen, it's probably going to cost him money. He can actually kind of prove that too, because Lauer in his camp believes that he lost his arbitration case because he was forced to work in the bullpen last year. And that's why he lost his arbitration case this year. The team filed for $4.4 million, and Lauer in his camp filed for $5.75 million. The team won. Big difference between 4.4 and 5.75. And now they've signed Scherzer. This may cause some animosity, and it's certainly worth watching in Toronto for the rest of the season. Guys, He's a 41-year-old pitcher. He is not near the pitcher he was. In fact, he's basically a league average pitcher. If he gets all of the $13 million contract, it'll actually cost Toronto $24.7 million for a league average pitcher. He limits the bullpen, and he could cause dissension within the ranks of the team. Plus, this is not even talking about him discrediting his Hall of Fame career with the average numbers he's suddenly putting up at the end of his career as he tries to hang on, as if the number I gave you before wasn't enough to live on. So I ask again, is this contract even worth doing? I think it's a great question. It's a question that the Toronto Blue Jays will eventually have to answer. And it's a question that I think we've already answered here on the show today. We got a couple of comments here that I'll flash up there real fast. What's up? What's up to you? Appreciate you hanging on with us here on Seeing the Whole Field. And I'll tell you this. Don't be afraid to sling it, swish it, or swing it. Because as we've already said, you miss 100% of the throws that you don't take, or of the swings that you don't take. All right, guys. Thank you all very much. Any comments, leave them there for us on YouTube. And we will see you actually later on today, as I've already got another video ready to go, and I'll release it later. Again, thank you all very much. Appreciate it. And as it says right down there on the bottom, watch our other podcast that we do, myself and Cheese, the Lights Out Sports Podcast, every Tuesday night. All the times are right there for you. 6 Mountain, 7 Pacific, and 8 Eastern Standard Time. There's a link in the description below. Thank you all very much. Have a great day. See you soon.